little football, whatever's on your mind is okay by me. And here is Mark, and he's in Maryland, and he says hello on our Wednesday afternoon show. Mark, good afternoon. How are you today? What do you have for me?
Hey, Chris, I was gonna start off with the baseball, but since you started with that football, the helmet rule, I mean, I don't know how they're gonna enforce that with the the running backs and all. I mean, there's just certain plays where they're gonna be bracing themselves for a hit or something, and sometimes the helmets are gonna they're gonna end up with some impact.
A lot of accidental collisions. How are you going to officiate that? Good point.
Yeah, I can understand they want to get rid of those.
Well, that's the word. That's why the word target. But that, Mark, is the reason why the word targeting is in there.
Yeah.
Because accidental does not mean targeting. So
let's hope they don't go crazy with it.
But I don't want to go to replay every 5 seconds to take a look at this again like they do in college, which delays the game hour upon hour. Replay in a lot of ways in all sports has made each and every sport, hockey, NBA, you name it, much, much more tedious to sit there and watch. Let's be fair.
Yeah, absolutely. So, the Nats, I guess they got their game called off. And one thing I wanted to tell you about they did this year that they're doing at the park, they used to give out like a free program, for everybody coming into the game.
Now you got to pay for it.
And now they got rid of it. Actually, you can still buy the.
Is this the program? This is the scorecard. Okay,
yeah,
go ahead.
You can still buy the scorecard for like $1, but there's no information or anything. So they got rid of this little magazine they used to give out. So I mean. And they're blaming it on they're saying they're trying to be environmentally conscious without doing.
Has there been some complaints by the fans on this?
Well, yeah, some of the people were saying that they're upset about it, because now you're gonna have to buy something now.
Everybody wants to lose something free, and if you can't, and I listen, that's a lost art, but the older generation loves it. You love to score the game. It's a way. When I used to do college baseball 40 years ago, I loved to score the game. It keeps you into it. It gets you wrapped up in it, which is a big factor. Paul in Tampa, and he's on Mad Dog Unleashed. Paulie, good afternoon. How are you today, pal? What do you have for me?
Hey, Chris, what's up, buddy?
Hello,
Can you hear me okay?
I sure can. What's on your mind?
Hey, buddy. Hey, 3 quick points. I got a great Mike and the Mad Dog story for you. It's November 91. I'm 11 years old and playing a football game in Albany, New York. Big game, like 6-on-6. I'm 11 years old, and I see my dad walk up to me. I'm like, well, this can't be good. I'm either in trouble or what's going on? He comes up to me and says, hey, I got bad news. I'm thinking to myself, what's going on, Pop? He goes, hey, Mike and the Mad Dog just broke the whole story about Magic Johnson. Long story short, my dad heard it from you guys. Jump in the car. I go out to my grandma's house. She makes a big meal for us. We watch the whole press conference. So that's in memory. I always tell everybody, like, hey, I heard it from me and my dad.
Well, I mean, again, we don't need to go down memory lane necessarily, but the thing about the Magic Johnson thing is that people do not remember now, and if they tell you differently, they're lying. That press conference was a weekday afternoon at 4 o'clock. That was not a weekend. That was not at night. That was not covered by ESPN. Yep. Was it a Tuesday? Whatever day it was. It was during the week.
It was a Tuesday, yes, sir.
It was a Tuesday at 4 o'clock in the afternoon, and nobody had any idea what it was.
Yeah,
nobody had heard of. Nobody knew that much about HIV to begin with. And
I was a diehard Magic fan. He was my idol. So when the reason why he literally came and got me and said, hey, listen, we got to go watch this because I was going to be devastated. But 2 quick more points. Odell Beckham, you made a great point about Odell, how the Giants aren't going to cater to him. I also agree with you on the point that they're not going to trade him to an NFC team. And another thing I want to say about Beckham is you got to remember, Goff was drafted in 2016. His contract's up in 2021, max deal, right? Gurley was drafted in 2015. He's going to get about $80 million in 2020. You got to pay Aaron Donald $96 million June 15th. So I don't care. The Rams and all these people on the radio say, oh, it sounds great. The Rams economically, the math is the math. They can't afford him. And first of all, even if they acquired him tomorrow morning, Beckham wants an $80 million. Rams can't do it, and they're not going to give him to an NFC team. And the third point, I don't know how you feel about Baker Mayfield, and I look at Baker Mayfield, and I don't know. Everybody's loving this guy. He's a walk-on with a police video, with a police video blotter. He's got a vanilla arm, small hands. I'm in shock that people are telling me that the Jets like him. He's a top 5 quarterback. Maybe the Bills take him at 12. But if you told me Thanksgiving time or Christmas time, hey, Paul, this guy's going to be a top 5 pick, I'd say Baker Mayfield, he's maybe 6 foot. When I see Baker Mayfield, I see Barkley from USC, 5 years ago. I see a little Jets Garcia, but you're telling me this guy's going to be a top 3 pick? Based on what? I can't believe
I understand. Sounds like the Jets like him. The two things that worry me about Baker Mayfield, the conference, where they score at will, and number two, go look at that second half again against Oklahoma. Go look at it. Go watch that down by down. I don't want to hear about hurt. I don't want to hear about anything. Go watch it. He did nothing in that second half. 0. Bad throws all over the place. Watch it. 31-14. They got conservative, so I'll put a little something on the coach, but that was not a good performance. That's by any stretch of the imagination. Here is Jay in Detroit as a former business partner of Bill Freehan. Hello, Jay. How are you today, pal? Okay?
Hi, Chris. How you doing?
All right, Jay. Nice to talk. How you think? You knew Bill Freehan pretty well, huh?
Yes, I did. I just thought I'd give you a little bit of initial insight. We were business partners for almost 27 years, and along with Bill, I got to know a lot of the 68 team as a result of being partners with Bill. So one thing I thought I would add a little bit to the conversation, and by the way, was very interesting with the author. When Bill was at the end of our sales career that we had with an automotive sales company, he went back to coach baseball at University of Michigan for 7 years. And when he went back, one of the things he gave me was a real large-size picture of him blocking the plate with Brock. It was probably maybe 10 or 12 times size. I had it in my office for many years, and I gave it to my grandson. And clearly, Chris, it shows that he was out. There's a space there between the space in his shoe of probably maybe 3 inches, but he was clearly out. But what I wanted to add that the author
was he out?
Maybe didn't.
Was he out, Jay, because Brock did not touch the plate? Why was he out?
He was out. He didn't touch the plate. Bill had the plate blocked, and as you pointed out, not many people knocked Bill over at home plate.
Yeah. So
he was a big, strong catcher. But the other thing I wanted to add was that I met Lou Brock at an old timers baseball card signing by Topps when I went with Bill. Just a real fine gentleman. And I sat next to him. I said, Lou, I got to ask you a question. Why, as one of the greatest base stealers, did you not slide? He said, well, the book on Horton was that he had a popcorn arm. And he said, I never looked back to see if he fumbled or if he fumbled through the ball. Clearly, he had a good throw. I never thought he could make that throw dead on to home plate because the book on him was he had a very weak arm. So he said, I just kind of goofed. I should have slid. And that's right out of Lou Brock's mouth to me, probably maybe 20 years ago.
All right, Jay, well done. How about that? We cleared it up. How about anything on Mad Dog Unleashed? Where in America on March 28th are you getting into the Lou Brock sliding home plate in Game 5 of the 1968 World Series? Where? We continue. Mad Dog.